The weekend is ahead and it's going to be longer than usual. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and of course that means no school for all of us, but it's also a day to celebrate the legacy of a man who fought hard for equality regardless of race. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee on April 4th, 1968. The day in his honor is observed on the third Monday of January each year. We've got more news ahead on Patriots Today. Happy Milk Friday. I'm Rena Harmon along with Malika Rajapaksa. So Malika, any plans for the long weekend?
No, not really. The Anti-Bullying Club has added a new feature to the elementary playground. The Buddy Bunch is a place you can go if you're feeling lonely or if you don't have anything to do. The club wants to encourage students to go out and look for each other. So if you're playing on the playground and see a kid on the bench, go and play with them or sit down and talk to them.
The Elks Lodge is offering another scholarship to high school seniors. The deadline to complete the application is Thursday, February 13th, so if you're interested, you need to act fast. Pick up your application packet from Mrs. Merrigan right away.
Need help in a hurry, don't panic, don't worry, dial 911! If there's a house on fire or a down power wire, dial 911! Now this number's not a toy or a joke to play. You can only use it as you're shown today. Dial 911! Give yourself a hand!
That was the scene yesterday as the first grade students from Mrs. Lauren and Mrs. Drew's class learned about the emergency telephone number. After discussing when it's appropriate to call, the kids practiced dialing 911, giving their name, a mock emergency, and their address. Let's hope they never have to use their skills, but if something comes up, at least they'll be prepared.
Are you always getting into arguments with others? Do you want to run for president someday? If so, there's a new club that's on the way and it might just be right for you. Speech and Debate Club is coming to Malk and it's open to any high school student that is interested in becoming a better public speaker. You can learn to speak confidently in front of a group, a skill that will last you a lifetime. The first meeting is being held this Thursday during lunch in Mrs. Brosen Griffin's room, so bring your lunch and come find out more.
The National Honor Society will meet today at lunch in Mrs. Mulligan's room. The Strategy Game Club also meets today after school. And finally, the Interact Club will hold a meeting next Wednesday, January 22nd, during lunch in Bros and Griffin's room. Today in History is up next, and then we're back with the sports.
In 1493, Columbus left the New World and set sail for Spain. The British Museum opened in London in 1759. In 1920, the 18th Amendment to the Constitution went into effect.
There's a basketball game today, but it's not at a normal time. Isn't that right, Brandon?
That's right, Raina. Most of our home games are at 3:45, but not tonight. The junior varsity boys have another game against the Academy of Building Industries tonight, and tip-off is scheduled for 5:15 p.m. Patriots already have faced the Wolves 2 times this season, winning both games. The middle school 7th grade teams traveled to Havasu yesterday to play at Havasu Prep. No word on how the boys did, but Coach Jared Rollins gave us a report on his girls. Aaliyah Lawrence led our junior Lady Patriots on both sides of the court, with 8 points on offense and 5 steals from the defensive side. She was assisted offensively by Leah Gadd, who added another 5 points. Candace French dominated the paint with 7 rebounds and 4 blocks for the night. Final score, Patriots 19, Havasu Prep 13. Congratulations, girls. Don't forget that the Friday game that was scheduled for varsity boys and girls basketball was canceled. 2 teams will have their first league home game next Wednesday against Orem. Finally, the football program has been doing community service work since the season ended. Their latest project is coming up on Friday, January 31st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. here on campus. The team will be reconditioning the trail behind the school and helping clean up a few other areas. In addition to the football players, Coach Sagasta has opened up the project to anybody that still needs community service hours for graduation. And that's your sports report. I'm Brandon Butler.
Thank you, Brandon. We'll be back with the news in just a moment. The Fort Mohave Indian Tribe and Arizona Department of Transportation has held several open houses in the area last week to discuss a possible new transit system on the Fort Mohave Indian Reservation. The reservation spreads across Fort Mohave and Mohave Valley in the checkerboard between Bullhead City and Needles. Both cities have their own transit system, but there's nothing in between. The new transit system would offer connections to Bullhead area transit system in the north and Needles area transit system in the south to fill in the gap. The tribal council will need a new plan to develop the new system, which is several years away.
All of the fish have died in a man-made lake in northern Nevada. The Sparks Marina east of Reno has been flourishing fishing holes for years, with close to 1 million adult fish stocked in the lake since the fishery was opened there in 1998. However, in the past month, at least 100,000 trout, bass, and catfish have died and floated to the surface. It was assumed that many more are dead and have sunk to the bottom of the lake, but no one knows why the fish are dying. Theories range from excessive cold to lack of oxygen in the water, but no live fish have been found in the lake since mid-December. Tests are being conducted, and the fishery is trying to help solve the problem before its next fish release, which is scheduled for this spring.
And speaking of fish stories, in Norway, the temperature dropped so quickly overnight recently that the fish were literally frozen in place. It happened near the island of Loveland off the coast of Norway, where temperature only dropped to around 18 degrees. But the strong eastern wind was enough to catch the fish in the ice. It's not the first time quickly freezing ice has captured live animals in Norway. Last week, a moose got stuck and frozen in the ice in Cosmo Lake. That's all the news for now, but before we go, here's your word of the day.
Have a great extra long weekend, everyone.
We'll see you all on Tuesday.